Yes, good afternoon, officers. Time for a current affairs video. 16 June 2025. 5 to 6 very important topics are there. So let's quickly finish all of them. Okay. So let's have a quick glance. June 30th, we are starting a foundation batch. Code is SP Life, Shaman Paidikondla Life. If you have any queries, you can call 81211919985. Tell your name, use this code, get 50 to 20% discount. Fees is 1,20,000. They'll reduce it to 1,05,000, 1 lakh, like that. So take that discount, invest it somewhere, or use it, lessen your parents' burden, as simple as this. So let's look at what are the major topics for today. First, AI and biomanufacturing, very important topic, science and technology. Flue gas desulfurization, very important, science and technology. Cash plus model, governance topic and economics. Next, Amit Shah reviews preparation for upcoming census, very important. India will continue efforts to strengthen ties with Cyprus. So Cyprus issue, international relations, security, trade and defense. All these things we're going to come. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics for today. So let's quickly have a glance at what can be done with respect to this. First topic, AI and biomanufacturing. Can the policies match our ambitions? The topic fundamentally talks about what are our ambitions and what is the technology we have and what extra technology can be brought in, and if brought in, what are the big problems in it and how do we have to challenge and do all those things. That's the whole game. So keeping that in mind, I've designed everything in terms of a table so that it will be easy for you to revise. So have a quick glance. First, policy vision versus regulatory gaps. So concept is risk-based AI regulation. And we all know AI takes a lot of energy. That's a problem. So what is the explanation? AI tools are classified by risk, high risk. One needs to be stricter with respect to checks. So this is the issue. Risk and high risk. So what is the impact? Without proper rules, Indian AI-based drug tools may be rejected abroad. So rejection from abroad means exports are gone. Paisa is gone. So example, a vaccine factory's AI needs strict EU checks. India has no clear rule yet. This is one example you can cite for this particular concept of risk-based regulation. So for drugs, we don't have enough rules and regulations, and that might impact our exports. This is the first one. Next, digital twin powering smart factories. We have already done a nice video on digital twin technology. So video has been already been presented at CDOM site. Watch the video, digital twin technology. So technology is digital twin. All concepts, explanations have been clearly mentioned. Have a small glance at it. Okay. So a virtual copy of factory to test changes before using them. So here digital twin is very simple. It takes a replica of a model, creates a virtual model, and internal, external structures of a particular thing can be seen, and we can actually use them, try different permutations and combinations, see what are the impacts, and then we physically manufacture it later, because research takes a lot of time. But with digital twin technology, what happens is you can virtually see what will happen with respect to permutations and combinations of placing different things at different models, and then we can see the outcome before the actual version starts. So that reduces our cost, and it is very, very important for India as of now. So Teen Valla, what are the advantages? It reduces errors, yield will be better, and quality also will be improved. Example, Biocon uses digital twin to test temperature settings before applying to real tanks. So this one example you can happily mention for this particular technology of digital twin powering smart solutions. So keeping that in mind, next, AI accelerating drug discovery. In silico drug discovery, this is a concept. So artificial intelligence tests millions of drug molecules digitally before actually doing lab testing. So this one concept. And what is the impact? It saves time, cost, and development also nicely happens. Example for this, AI screens molecules for cancer drugs before doing expensive lab tests. This one fantastic example you can give for this particular thing called AI accelerated drug discovery. It's a very beautiful example. You can actually put this in your mains answer. Be very good. Right. Moving on. Next important thing. Machine learning. Unlearning for ethical AI. Machine unlearning. It removes wrong and biased data from AI without retraining the full model. So here it removes, in simple terms. What is impact? Errors will be fixed. Fairness in healthcare AI. That's the advantage. Example for this, AI wrongly trained on men's data only deletes bias instantly via unlearning. This one example you can mention for ethical AI. Similarly, data quality and privacy concerns, representation must learn from varied data to make good predictions. Poor data can lead to wrong outputs and failed medicine batches. It's a loss. Example, AI trained only foreign cell lines may fail in India's tropical conditions. This one example you can mention for your answer. Next, global assignments with AI standards, PCCP, predetermined change control plan. This is very important concept. So pre-approved list of AI changes allowed without new approvals. So what happens is, with AI, you can make changes, but here the checks and balances is a problem. So without permissions, rules can be changed. That's a big problem. So companies upgrade with AI without delay or repeat approval. FDA allows sugar in a drug process plus or minus 5G without retesting a full batch. So that is the advantage we can have, because rule checking is a big problem, because rules, the issue is we have to wait for a long time. So without this rule checking, the AI can do the work for smaller samples. So that reduces the cost, red tapeism, bureaucracy and all that stuff, and things can be done very smoothly. So that's the advantage of AI technology. So if you look at the contents of this particular article, if you look at it, policy vision versus regulatory gaps, digital twin technologies, AI accelerating drug discovery, then machine unlearning, then data quality and privacy factors, and global alignment with AI standards. All these topics have been discovered, and correspondingly examples have been mentioned, and impact has also been mentioned with simple explanations. So, and the concept. So if you look at it, what is the subheadings? Concept, explanation, impact, and example. All of them have been clearly mentioned. Your work is to go through the video. Very simple. Collect the points and keep revising it. So next topic for today, what are flue gas desulfurization? This we have done a small video already done on it. So please look at this. FGD. So flue gas desulfurization technique, where sulfur dioxide is fundamentally removed. That is the essence of it. So what is this? Let's have a quick glance. FGD units, they remove sulfur dioxide from the flue gas. It's a byproduct of combustion in thermal power plants. Incinerators is the video that we have done on. So there was a lot of hangama which happened. So clear explanation was being given in the video. Please have a quick glance at that video. It will make your work very easy. And example, limestone based FGD systems, they neutralize sulfur dioxide using gypsum forming reactions. So once gypsum is formed, it can be used for cement and all that stuff. Next, sulfur dioxide leads to PM 2.5 pollution. That's the major problem, causing asthma, respiratory illness. So this is a major point. So to prevent that, sulfur dioxide forms acid rain, which is also dangerous for the environment, and greenhouse gas contributor. So this is another point. Therefore, these 2 points have to be clearly mentioned in your answer, showing what are the effects of sulfur dioxide and what nonsense it can do for the environment as far as for the public. And finally, India mandates FGD for 537 coal-fired plants, but only 39 units have been installed by August 2024. So very, very low stats. Next, environment has repeatedly delayed the deadline from 2027 to 2029 based on plant category. So these are all the statistics, and these are all very, very important things that you have to remember. Moving on, FGD installation cost around 1.2 crore per megawatt. Danwala electricity cost will increase by 0.72 per kilowatt, mainly due to fixed cost of 80%. Expert panel headed by PSA Ajay Sood, security advisor. Abandoning mandatory and cost concerns are there, implementation delays are there, alternative pollution control measures being considered. So these are all the solutions they are planning. So experts stress reducing sulfur dioxide emissions from the fuel source itself. Example, use of cleaner coal. That's one example you can mention. And modernizing old power plants and shifting towards non-coal energy sources. So that's the future. That's an obvious thing. So coal energy nunchi non-coal ki velali, that's the whole thing. So Adi, next, cash plus model. Next topic is cash plus model. Cash plus model pushes up early breastfeeding rate, dietary diversity among Rajasthan women. So it's a specific case study, so you can be given a question on ethics as well as governance as well as health. So all these combined, they can get a ethics question on it. So let's look at this. Rajasthan's cash plus model. India's first state-led pilot program, therefore it is very, very important for your mains as well as prelims. What it does is it combines two programs. One is direct benefit transfer and SBCC, which means social and behavioral change communication. Very important. So DBDT, direct financial financial support to the target groups, and SBCC, influential behavior for better health and nutrition outcomes. So these two programs combinedly are very, very useful for prelims as well as mains, and you have to link it to the cash plus model. So that's the whole point. Next, focus on maternal as well as child nutrition and also behavioral changes. This is the impact point. Impact as well as objective of the program. Cash plus program, fundamentally DBT and SBCC, both for nutrition as well as for better hygiene, nutrition as well as behavioral changes. Next, what are the statistics important? 49% increases there, which is a good sign in breastfeeding, because mother's milk is the best immunity for any child. So if the mother is malnourished, the child will obviously be prone to a lot of unnecessary diseases. Mother's milk is considered to be elixir, that means amrutam, that has the best immunity that a kid can get, especially during that young age. So breastfeeding is very, very important for especially infants below 1 year to 2 years. Very, very important. The best immunity they can get, more than vaccinations and all. So that is the reason why even in older times, breastfeeding was considered to be one of the most important things for a child's health and growth. So 44% higher home-based counseling receptivity, this is also a very good sign. 49% improvement in dietary diversity, that's also a very good point. 54% rise in women using cash for nutrition, that's also a very good point. Enhances both behavioral as well as nutrition outcomes, it's a good point, especially for lactating women and children. Augments, this adds to PMMYY, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, so you can mention this point as government supported program as well as for prelims, both are important. Initially piloted in 4 districts, scaled up to 2022 across 210 blocks. 3.25 lakh second time pregnant women also were used, and combines community media, social engagement, digital media and awareness and update. So these are all the conclusions you can give for this particular topic. So these statistics are very important to prove that the government is doing enough and more can be done for especially women and children for their nutrition and dietary as well as behavioral changes. So all these three combined with these two schemes, DPT and SBCC, along with PMMYY, that is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, very, very important. So constitutionally how it is useful, Article 21, right to life includes right to health. So that's a concept you can mention. Article 47, duty of state to raise nutrition and improve public health under DPSP. This is also very important. Right to food and right to maternal health, these can be both be included beautifully for reproductive rights. Problem is maternal data is a big problem. Lower rural health infrastructure is a problem. Gender inequality issue, that's another problem. Literacy gaps and poor nutrition education, bad. Without addressing, these are the issues which you have to mention for administrative problems. And retain some impact. 3.3 million women reach a independent pool, so more have to be read. 80% report better access for nutrition, counseling and affordable food. So that's a good point. And enhances early childhood development, reduces malnutrition and family level decision making also is very good. So these are all the good points and the bad points which are there with respect to this article. Constitutional validities have been clearly mentioned. It is a responsibility of the state to make sure that child and maternal health is very, very good. That's the whole thing. So moving on. Next important topic. Amit Shah reviews preparation for the upcoming census. So what is the issue? Let's have a quick glance at this. So concept census, you know what is it? Denial decennial, that means for every 10 years, national population exercise to gather key statistics. HLO, house listing operations antaru, that means collects data on housing and amenities. Very, very important. So these are all the things you have to remember. Next, PE, population enumeration, ante captures demographic, socio-economic and cultural details. This is also very, very important. Next, digital census antaru. Census to be conducted via mobile apps and self-enumeration. That's also very important. And what do you mean by data security? Measures the product data collection, transmission and storage. This is also very, very important. So these are all the concepts which have been utilized in that particular article. Therefore, everything is put in a tabular form so that it will be easy for you to first read this and then read the article and then go for the explanation. It will make your work very simple. Next, total enumerations 34 lakh, census functionary 1.3 lakh, reference date March 1st, 2027, phases HLO and PE 2 phases, last complete December 2011, cancelled census 2021 due to COVID-19. These are also parameters. Next, moving on, post 2026 census, if you observe, data may serve as the basis for Lok Sabha constituency delimitation, states and all that, and 2029 elections key. Politically, this is the factor. This is political. So that's a major point. Approved on April 30th may include reservation policies and social justice programs. So this will be the social angle. This is the political angle. Next, tech-driven governance enabling citizen participation. So this will be the governance angle. Third major point, second point, first point. And finally, 34 plus lakh staff provided for temporary employment opportunities. This is job angle, jobs and employment angle. So fourth point. So if you look at it, improved trust in census due to enhanced digital as well as data security protocols. So this is the conclusion angle. So if you look at this, the points that you have to clearly mention, which are very, very important: census from Lok Sabha side, political angle; reservation policies, social angle; and social justice, social angle; tech-driven governance angle, 34 plus lakh employment angle; and finally, census due to enhanced digital and data will give you the conclusion angle. So these are the points that you have to definitely mention in your mains answers. So for all the serious students, this data will be freakingly very, very useful. Just use them. Don't try to unnecessarily over enhance your statements and all these. Keep it point to point, because the size of your main sheet is very small. So in that you cannot fill so much amount of thought process and all that stuff. So the best way is use the data, just put in. Get your marks. Your work is to get marks in the mains exam. Put these points, get the marks. As simple as this. So moving on. India's first digital census reducing paper dependency. That's the impact. So it's a very good point. Self-enumeration via mobile app is a step towards citizen empowerment. There's another important point you can mention because of digital data. Next, largest peacetime mobilization for personnel in India. So cost on personnel will reduce. Caste enumeration inclusion may reshape socio-political dynamics. That's another important point you can mention. Using AI tools to analyze. AI tools, technology with census data for targeted welfare is another important point you can definitely mention. Introduce stronger laws to prevent misuse of sensitive demographic dividend. That's another point. Grievance mechanisms for data correction is another important point. Publish real-time progress of enumeration for transparency. So ethics angle. And therefore educate citizens on importance of accurate data filing. So this is public responsibility. So if you look at this, the major points that you have to look at is digital census, self-enumeration, largest peacetime mobilization, caste enumeration, very important, and policy making. Look at the link between both of them. Next, AI to census data. Next, stronger laws, grievance redressal mechanisms, real-time progress, and education of citizens. So these are the major points that you have to definitely mention for census. Because census, all of them will read the basic points, but you have to think beyond. So for that, this is very, very useful. So moving on. Constitution relevance, let's quickly look at it. Article 82 provides for delimitation post-census. Therefore, very, very important point. Article 246 enables Parliament to legislate on census under Union list. Very important point. Article 15 and 16 may be affected caste remuneration for affirmative action. So affirmative action is the important concept. So especially for targeting marginalized societies, affirmative action is very much required. So these are all the conceptual, constitutional things which you have to definitely mention in your answer. Points you have to mention and the articles you have to mention. Next, India's 2025 census marks a major shift to digital self-enumeration using mobile apps, enhanced security, reduces personal cost and public empowerment. 34 lakh personnel may influence electoral boundaries for caste-based policies and welfare targeting. 2026 due to COVID-19, and this was data-driven governance and planning. So even if any kind of epidemic comes, God forbid should not happen, even if it comes, sitting at home, people can start doing census and other activities. That is very, very good governance mechanisms. Just like in some of the most developed countries, what is happening, it will happen also in India very soon. So another important, India will combine efforts with Cyprus. Very important topic, because Cyprus has been in news a number of times this time. Therefore, it's very important. Cyprus gains strategic significance due to ongoing West Asia instability, especially Israel-Iran conflict. So what does it signal? It signals India's commitment to strengthening ties with smaller countries but strategically located in Mediterranean. So that's one important point. Strategical location, Cyprus. We have already done a video on it. Have a check on it. Cyprus has reaffirmed support for India's Kashmir position. Therefore, it is very important. So diplomatic alignment on sensitive internal issues. Next, solidarity with India post Pahalgam terror attack and concern for global terrorism. That shows Cyprus is interested in India. Next, PM Modi interacted with Indian community. So diaspora issue. An important aspect. Cyprus-India roundtable boosted especially for commerce as well as industry. So this is very good for India. Modi's aircraft avoided traditional airspaces over Iran, Lebanon and Israel due to the ongoing tensions. So security risks in West Asia. Alternative route by Arabian Sea, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Egypt, Cyprus reflects rising aviation constraints due to geopolitical issues. This is one major conflict. So this visit clear diplomatic message to Turkey, which often sides with Pakistan. So it's a dhakka to Turkey. So Turkey ki dhakka hai, because if Turkey doesn't support, we'll go for this Arabian Sea, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Egypt and Cyprus. That will be the new partners. So these countries are very important right now. Though they are small, they are strategically very important for India. Look West will be the new thing, because Act East policy is going. Now Look West is also another policy reinformation. Aligns with India's broader aim to deepen ties with West Asia and Mediterranean. So this is very important point you can mention for your mains. Superly very important. This is Look West policy. That's another thing. So these are all the major points from the Cyprus thing. And finally, small table for you to quickly have a glance, especially before your exams. So exam time ke liye, let's look at this. Diplomatic ties enhances bilateral goodwill with Cyprus, especially Kashmir solidarity. Strategic communications against cross-border and regional instability. Diaspora engagement, morale and soft power through Indian community abroad. Next, trade and investment, roundtable with Cyprus Chamber hints business cooperation opportunities. And aviation diplomacy highlights risk posed by regional conflicts and diplomatic travel. So these are the major impact areas. And finally, soft power diplomacy, how India will be useful for this one. Look at this, soft power diplomacy, engaging in diaspora and leveraging Modi's community interaction. Strategic balancing, allies carefully to counterbalance Turkey. Geopolitical risk in aviation, flight risk, therefore diplomatic risk in conflict zones. Track 1.5 diplomacy, very important. Informal but influential engagement like India-Cyprus Business Roundtable Conference. So this is the major point, track 1.5 diplomacy. Dealing with smaller countries, strategically important, very important for trade as well as commerce and engagement, and also giving tucker to those countries who are against us. Next, small state leverage. Cyprus, though small, plays a very important role where diplomacy and element with larger powers. So these are all the major points that you have to write for your answer if there is any question given on soft power diplomacy with smaller countries. So directly we can give an example of Cyprus, Somalia and all these things. Now, Modi will be at Prime Minister Modi will be at Calgary, Canada to attend G7 summit to visit Croatia. This indicates India's continued alignment with Western alliances. So the concept is look west. This is the major concept. And finally, similar instance India has already done. What are those? India-Greece cooperation in 2023-24 when Greece was really under down. So similar outreach in Mediterranean amid Turkey antagonism. Next, India-Israel solidarity through Gaza issue reflects India's balancing of West Asian relationships. So another example you can mention, Turkey को धक्का देने के लिए India in Greece. G20 African Outreach 2023 shows India's engagement with smaller nations for strategic regional support. That is the reason when smaller countries engage with us, that is the reason we are becoming a leader in global south. And finally, these are all the important other factors which are there. So before that, just have a quick glance at all these points. So soft power diplomacy, strategic balancing, geopolitical risk, track 1.5 diplomacy, small state leverage. These are all the concepts. Next, India-Greece, example you can give, India-Israel, G20 Africa issue. So these are all the points that you have to definitely mention. That shows that you are well informed and you are connecting all the dots. So other important news from today's newspaper are helicopter crash kills 7 along Chardham route. So again another incident, very sad. Things have to change. Iran wars severe response to Israel crisis. You know what is that? A lot of bombings, a lot of life. Common molecule offers due making old muscles into young aging. SNT ke liye chala important. Therefore, have a quick glance at it. Two concepts are there. Just have a quick glance. Next, why have space economic zones rule been relaxed? So this issue is also very important. We have done a video on it. Just check it out. And finally, these are all the facts important. Especially this is under special economic zones, exclusive economic zones, and all that. So video has already been done. So just check on it. So these are all the major topics that we have covered today. India, Cyprus. Then we have done caste enumeration, census ke baare mein. Then we have done right to food, nutrition, and all these things. Cash plus model, very important. Then flue gas desulfurization we have done. Then AI and biomanufacturing link, very important. Policy vision, digital twin technology, AI accelerating drug, ethical, all examples have been mentioned. So it will make your work very easy. So again, you don't have to do research. So just check if you have done all the topics for today. First, ENA and biomanufacturing we have done. Flue gas desulfurization, yes. Cash plus model we have done. Our Rajasthan woman, so case study. Amit Shah reviews, upcoming census we have done. And Cyprus and India. Ties with Cyprus, very important. So these are all the major topics that were given in the newspaper. So clear analysis has been done. Don't try to read too much because stick to the points. Because end of the day, even if you have too much knowledge, the whole point is you have to be able to put it on a paper. So mains ke paper sheet is fixed. Therefore, you can write minimum number of points, but you have to get maximum marks. That should be your target. Okay. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. And Shaman Paidikunla signing off for today. Take care. Bye-bye. And before I leave, most important, again, 3 things. Revise, revise, revise. RQ. Okay? Sure. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.